So in development of instrument, we talked about the type of questions जो आप इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं in order to gauge a phenomena of your interest. So after the development of the instrument, it is important कि उसकी जो है ना testing की जाए. It is just like saying if you have something, so before you go on full scale with that new thing, तो आपको उसको पहले जो है ना टेस्ट करना चाहिए in laboratory. Similarly, we can take the example if you're making a new dish, so before you go and serve it to the other people, the guest that you're having, so इससे पहले the cook actually tests his or her own recipe before going full scale. So similar as the case with the new instrument, or even if you have adopted that instrument or have adapted that instrument from elsewhere, it is important कि अगर आप before you go on full scale with your survey study, आप उसको test करें. So after development or after adoption of the instrument comes the stage of pre-testing. So pre-testing is about evaluation of the instrument. Or we can use the two words interchangeably. Pre-testing भी कह सकते हैं, evaluation of the instrument भी कह सकते हैं, and it has different goals. As we all know कि जो पहला goal तो यही है कि to check हमारा questionnaire वाकई में ठीक भी था या नहीं, and that includes gauging कि the respondents that are going to respond to this question or a questionnaire, वो वाकई में उसे सही तरीके से समझ भी आती है उनको सवालात की है नहीं. So one of the goal is to check the understandability of your questionnaire or the questions that you're going to use in your survey. Second goal जो pre-testing का या evaluation का होता है is to assess कि कितना time लगेगा for all the respondents or for a particular population or particular sample that you're going to draw in filling up or in completing this survey questionnaire. So it is important कि आप before you go on full scale with your survey study, आपको पहले से ही मालूम हो कि average time of filling up this questionnaire वो कितना है, so that when you reach out to the respondents with your survey, तो आप उन्हें पहले से ही instruction दे सकें कि ये वाला question आपके 20 मिनट लेगा, so they are already prepared. And normally it is considered good in advance कि आप उनको बताएं कि कितना time लगेगा, so that they already know कि this much time they have to invest in answering these questions. Or secondly, ताकि in the middle of the survey because of the not knowing कि कितना time लगेगा, they don't abandon giving responses to your questions. इसी तरह जो third goal है, that is to assess the likely response rate and the effectiveness of the follow-up procedure. So normally आपको pre-testing में पता चल जाता है कि if you have floated the questionnaire to maybe 30 respondent or 30 people while you were pre-testing it or while you were evaluating it, so and you have given them the time of 1 week. तो after 1 week आपको मालूम हो जाएगा कि 30 में से कितने लोगों ने जो है ना response किया, and accordingly you can then evaluate different set of follow procedures जिनके through जो है ना आप उनका response rate जो है ना बढ़ा सकते हैं. And another goal is to evaluate the reliability and validity of your instrument. So once you have the data from the respondent while you're pre-testing your survey instrument, so you have the responses against them. So वहाँ पर you can use different statistical tests to identify कि आपकी reliability or validity of your instrument कैसी है. For example, you can use Cronbach alpha and AVEs and square root of AVEs जो कि statistical test हैं that can tell you कि आपका scale reliable है, कि reliable or valid दिए हैं result of the thing that you're trying to gauge, of the phenomena that you're trying to assess. And of course, when you have all the responses and how the quantitative expression of the instrument that you're using looks like, so this allows you to peek into कि जो आपका data analysis technique जो आपने सोची हुई थी वाकई में वो match भी करती है कि जिस तरह के आपके पास responses आए हैं. So evaluating the instrument allows you to reach multiple goals, or आप and it allows you कि आपका जो and give you the guarantee कि आपका जब when you actually go full scale and you carry out your survey, when you conduct your survey, तो at that time आप के multiple aspect जो है ना वो ठीक रहेंगे. So how we can evaluate our instrument. So normally there are two ways through which we can do our pre-testing. और वो है, one of them is focus groups and the other one are pilot study. The focus group, as the name shows, it is mediated discussion groups. तो आप group of people को बुलाते हो, while and you become a part of it as well, or you do become a part of it. और उन group of people में they could be experts जो कि उस phenomena को understand करते हो, or they could be the people who will be using the result of your survey, or just people who will be completing that survey for you. So either you can have only experts, or either you can have only the people who are going to complete the survey, या फिर they can be the mixture of two groups. And then in that focus group, you actually being a researcher, you tell them about the objectives of your study, और फिर आप उनको अपना questionnaire देते हो, so that they can actually give their expert opinion, or while they're filling it वो आपको जो है ना potential problems के बारे में जो है ना बता सकें. So focus group gives you leverage कि आप on the spot in a mediated discussion you can find out the problems and even sort out the solutions to those problems in those focus group meetings. The second way to evaluate your instrument are pilot study, and pilot studies are performed that using the same procedure that you intend to use while conducting your full scale survey. लेकिन क्या होता है, in pilot study the sample is a smaller sample. कि maybe आपने 30 लोगों को या 50 लोगों को जो है ना सर्वे भेज दिया, ठीक है. सेल्फ एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन मोड भी वही होगा जो कि which you intend to adopt while doing your actual survey. और फिर in pilot studies you find out any problems with the questionnaire itself, कि जो respondents हैं उनको समझ आया आपका questionnaire या नहीं, कितना टाइम उन्होंने लगाया, और of course it also shows you it also gives you insight कि response rate क्या हो सकता है when you actually go full scale while conducting your research. So let's have a look at some of the examples in terms of कि उसमें सर्वे का डिज़ाइन क्या होगा. So this is one of I have extracted from one of the studies where it says कि we collected a representative data set using survey instrument by mailing the developed questionnaire. So here we can see that यहाँ पर the mode of administration is a self-administration mode, और वो भी by emailing by mailing the developed questionnaire to the respondents. और respondent यहाँ पे कौन से हैं, या population या sample उनका क्या है, that is members of Finnish Information Processing Association whose job title was project managers or equivalent. ठीक है. For example, development manager and who had also managed projects in Finland. So this tells you कि it's a self-administered mode, और उसके अंदर जो आपका sample है वो ये लोग थे. And as it shows कि ये one time survey हुआ है, तो the survey design is cross-sectional in nature. Let's take another example where we can see that how the instrument was evaluated. So here it says कि hence Boehm's list was chosen as it allowed us to investigate the level of exposure to various software risks. और Boehm list को उन्होंने इस्तेमाल करते हुए जो अपना instrument जो develop किया, वो उस list को इस्तेमाल करते हुए they developed it. And how they formed the question? By listing a set of statements where each statement represented a claim with respect to how well this specific risk item has been managed in the past projects. तो उन्होंने Boehm list उठाई और उसके against जो है ना उन्होंने अपने question as a claim की सूरत में जो है ना post किया. And then the evaluation was carried out by using the pilot study. और वहाँ पर उन्होंने अपनी study के अंदर appendix 3 में अपना पूरा detailed procedure दिया हुआ है while they conducted their pilot study. So and here they also tell you about कि pilot study के result क्या थे या pilot study के अंदर जो है ना उन्होंने क्या problems identify किए. So we extended Boehm's list with new risk items जो कि एडवाइस किया था उन्होंने, जो एक्सपर्ट उन्होंने हायर किए थे in their pilot study. And in the end, the survey instrument included 20 Likert scale items. They started off with the here it says set of statements, and in the end, they ended up with the 20 items जिसके अंदर उसमें उन्होंने new items डाले थे based on the opinion, based on the expert opinion, or in the end, the final the developed instrument contained 20 questions और उनके जो response था वो Likert scale था. Alright, so after you've done with the evaluation, it is important कि आपने अपने instrument की development, whether it has been adopted और आपने खुद से develop किया है, और उसकी evaluation को और उसकी conduction को जो है ना आप उसको document कर सकें. So documentation, it's about writing an initial descriptive या questionnaire की specification के बारे में है, where you specifically include, number one is the objective of your study. तो आप सबसे पहले in documentation objective of your study लिखेंगे, followed by the questions that you're going to use, और जो for each question you have to write the rationale for adding that question in your survey instrument. Or you will also be documenting the rationale for any question adopted or adapted from other sources with appropriate citation. तो अगर आपने कोई सवाल उनमें से किसी और स्टडी से लिया है, अडॉप्ट किया, अडैप्ट किया, तो उसे citation के साथ जो है ना डॉक्यूमेंट करेंगे. And of course, while you're doing your evaluation process, तो make sure आप उसी वक्त ही उसकी documentation कर सकें, यानी कि how you evaluated it with detailed procedure, और उस evaluation का result में आपने कौन सी changes की in your questionnaire, that has to be part of your documentation. And also you should also be documenting the actual full scale